I want to make a networking project to practice my skills, but honestly, I'm way too addicted to Elden Ring right now, so I figured, why not just do it at the same time? Honestly, slapping a video game theme on a project makes the whole learning process actually fun. So here's the network topology based on the lands between. As you can see, we have our main subnets, Limgrave, Liurnia, Caelid, Roundtable, Mount Gelmir, and Lanedale. Some of the other locations like Fair Mazula or the underground maps or mountaintops of the giants don't make an appearance, mostly just for the sake of brevity. The main idea behind the whole setup is that every region focuses on something different. Each zone lets me tackle a completely different aspect of security or networking. Starting off with Limgrave. In the game, when you get to the start of Stormvale Castle, Margit blocks our way and you have to defeat him to get through. Once you get past Margit, you officially enter Stormvale Castle and immediately run into a somewhat shady character named Gostock. He warns you that the main gate is heavily fortified, and he suggests you take a hidden, secret path around the side of the castle to avoid the guards. You could take the side path or you could take the front path, it's really up to you. I decide to take the side path instead. Eventually, this route leads us straight into the heart of the castle, the arena of Godric the Grafted. After he's defeated, we get our very first Great Rune. Just a quick explanation, every location and character in the topology is a dedicated virtual machine. In this scenario, I'm playing the role of the Tarnished. In the lab, the Tarnished is the Kali Linux VM, acting as our external attacker machine sitting out on the public internet. In our network, Margit represents a rule on our central firewall. Just like how Margit blocks the physical path to the castle, pfSense drops the unauthorized external traffic by default. If Margit blocks our path, how are we supposed to get in? Well, Margit accidentally left port 21 and port 22 open for FTP and SSH respectively. So to defeat him in our network, we're gonna get past him by using FTP. In the game, every Tarnished begins their journey in Limgrave. Because of this, I decided to make Limgrave represent the DMZ. Stormvale Castle is the first legacy dungeon. I made it represent a jump server. This is because jump servers are the gateways to the internal network. First, we have to do reconnaissance. I run an nmap scan on the central firewall to see what's open. The scan confirms that port 21 and 22 are open. We FTP in and bypass Margit. We move into the Limgrave DMZ and encounter our next hint, Gostock. In the game, Gostock teaches you about the secret side path into the castle. In our lab, Gostock leaves a note for us instead. When we FTP in, we attempt an anonymous login. Because the service is misconfigured, it grants us access without requiring a valid password. Once inside, we could snoop around. By using the Linux command ls, we are able to find the note left by Gostock. In the game, you use Y to pick things up, but for us, we're gonna use the command get. So we use get on the hint text file, and we're able to download it onto our device. We exit FTP, and we are able to read the command using cat. Gostock gives us a hint on what Godric's password is, but we can't trust him, so let's just double check that it's right. In our lab, Godric represents a vulnerable SSH account on our Ubuntu jump server. We feed Hydra the RockU word list and it rapidly tests authentication attempts against the SSH service until the target's defenses finally break. As shown here, Godric's password is actually password, and we're able to use that information to log in through SSH. With the password cracked, Godric falls. We use these compromised credentials to establish an SSH session, claiming our first Great Rune. In cybersecurity terms, this Great Rune is our initial foothold. As you can see from our internal IP address, we are no longer an external attacker on the public internet. We are officially sitting inside the Limgrave DMZ. The real world, compromising a jump server like this is a critical, high-severity milestone. Theoretically, from this vantage point, our next steps in the attack lifecycle would be post-exploitation. In the game, after you defeat Godric, or by skipping Stormvale, you emerge into the flooded, foggy wetlands of Liurnia of the Lakes. The legacy dungeon of this region is Raya Lucaria Academy, but when you get to the main gates, you are not allowed to go in. The entrance is locked tight behind a massive magical seal. You can't get inside without the Academy Glintstone key. We track down the key's location behind a massive glintstone dragon guarding it. With the glintstone key finally in hand, we can return to the gates, bypass the seal, and enter the academy. And we quickly pay a visit to the infamous snipers. After fighting our way through the academy, we reach the Grand Library to meet the main boss of the region, Renala. In our network, the next target is Liurnia of the Lakes, home to the Raya Lucaria Academy. In the game, the academy is for sorcery and knowledge. In our network, that translates perfectly to a web server backing a massive SQL database. But you need a glintstone key to get in. So in our topology, that key is a firewall misconfiguration. The central pfSense firewall accidentally left port 80 open to the public internet, giving us direct path to Renala's database. In the real world, this would be an actual production database like MySQL, but to simulate this environment in my lab, the Academy is running vulnerable web app. It's an industry standard sandbox specifically designed to demonstrate critical web vulnerabilities. Just like in Limgrave, for Liurnia, we also have to do reconnaissance. I do an nmap scan here, and it confirms that port 80 is completely exposed. This is the equivalent of having the glintstone key. We navigate to the web server and log in. To demonstrate the raw exploit for this lab, we ensure the web application's internal security defenses are lowered, simulating a completely unpatched application. Now we face Renala. Just like in the game, you can't attack her directly at first. She's protected by a shield, and you have to target her sweetings on the floor to break her defenses. In our network, that shield is the web application's intended logic. We can't access the database directly, so we have to target the vulnerable search bar. We drop in an SQL injection payload, quote or 1 equals 1. When we submit, the backend evaluates the math. Since 1 always equals 1, the statement returns true for every single entry. In the game, just like how you finally break her shield, the application's logic shatters. Renala drops her shield and dumps the entire user database right onto our screen. The academy is officially compromised. Lastly, we venture into Caelid. In the game, Caelid is a region completely consumed by a plague known as the Scarlet Rot. To prevent this infection from spreading, the Red Means erected a smoldering wall, a massive burning barricade designed strictly for containment. In our lab, Caelid represents a malware sandbox. The Scarlet Rot is a live ransomware payload. Just like the smoldering wall in our game, our network utilizes strict sandbox isolation rules. It's an isolated VLAN that is completely cut off from the rest of the network. It allows us to safely detonate the payload on a sacrificial Windows 10 victim machine, represented by Redmane Castle in our network. Since the VLAN is cut off from the rest of the network, we can actively monitor the infection using packet analysis and host monitoring tools without any risk of it escaping. Looking at the pfSense rules, you can see our strict VLAN isolation. Any traffic trying to leave the Caelid subnet is instantly dropped. Before we start the festival, we visit our site of grace, a clean VM snapshot. We have this because once the Scarlet Rot destroys the system, we could instantly rewind time and restore Redmane Castle to a pristine state. In real life, modern malware is smart. If it realizes it's disconnected from the internet, it goes to sleep to avoid analysis. In our network, Jaren is represented by our Remnux gateway. Just like in the game, how he sets the stage for the festival, Remnux uses a tool called iNetSim to fake the internet. As you can see, it feeds the Scarlet Rot fake web pages, tricking the malware into detonating while keeping it safely trapped inside our lab. Full transparency for our lab, our simulated Scarlet Rot PowerShell script is safe and simple enough that it would probably still execute even if it was still offline. But if you are dealing with real malware, you might need to have this fake internet set up as it won't execute without it. In the game, when you're fighting Radon, you're able to summon allies to help you. In the network, the summoned allies are represented by our forensic tools. I have Iron Fist Alexander as Procmon and Blythe as Wireshark. With our summons running, we trigger the payload. The script reaches out to a fake command server, rapidly renames our dummy files to simulate encryption, and flashes a ransom note on the screen. Since our environment is isolated in Caelid, it is completely trapped. We can safely gather our forensic data, knowing the rest of the lands between is perfectly secure. To finish off, let's do a quick lightning round for the rest of the map. We have the Round Table Hold. This is our isolated management and SOC VLAN, where we are running Nessus for vulnerability scans and Waza. We have the Volcano Manor, a Forgotten Shadow IT VLAN. This is where we executed our reverse shell on the legacy Ubuntu server and walked away with Rykard's plaintext credentials. Lastly, we have the Erdtree. It's a Windows server environment running Active Directory. If you want to read the write-up or see the topology, it is in the GitHub. The link is in the description down below. Thanks for watching me turn Elden Ring into a home lab. If you want to see more projects like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching until the end.